Hello again, I am Blunty, and this time we're taking a smooth spin around a couple more camera accessories from the same folks who made the video slider I took a look at a little while ago. These are a pair of Glide Gear video stabilizer rigs. The big bloke is the DNA 5050 and the little fella goes by the SIL 3000, and they represent the two most common kinds of video stabilizers out there. The DNA 5050 is aimed at the more serious and pro side of the market, made to be highly adaptable to different rigs and setups, and comes with a price tag of just under $430. And the SIL 3000 is designed to keep things simple, light, and much more affordable, and only asks for 87 of your hard-earned dollars. They both operate on the same basic principle of physics, using counterbalance and adjustable weights to move the center of gravity into a position that affects the inertia in a way that lets you move the camera much more smoothly than you'd be able to doing it purely handheld. As you can see, the SIL 3000 keeps things simple. An arc swing arm, a collection of counterweights so you can tune it to your rig's weight, and the counterweight mounting arm is also able to be positioned off-center to either side to compensate for cameras like DSLRs that tend to be a little lopsided in their weight distribution, or if you work with a viewfinder that flips out to the side. The Q20 mount slides along a slot to help you dial in the front and back balance, and the foam padded handle rolls around on a simple one-point ball joint gimbal. Meanwhile, the DNA 5050 is much more complex and sophisticated in its engineering, which allows you to make very fine adjustments and adapt to a much wider range of setups and properly balance heavier professional level gear. And while it is much more elaborate, it's actually faster and easier to get properly balanced than the SIL 3000 because very fine adjustments are much easier to make. The counterweight sled, for instance, has two sliding feet that pop back and forth to help you dial in forward and rear balance. It also telescopes so you can dial in the pendulum fall time. The camera platform up top is broad and stable and has front to back and left to right fine tuning knobs, allowing you to shift the platform by literally millimeters at a time very easily indeed. The offset handle and gimbal too are more sophisticated, bringing you a full-on 3-axis system which rolls extremely smoothly. When it comes to performance, the two actually perform very similarly, and both are capable of delivering exactly what they're designed to do. Duh. But make no mistake, these are not magic wands you can just wave around with a camera stock on and get awesome results. No, these are tools and they require a practiced technique to get the best out of them. Bad technique will still deliver bad results. And I myself am still new to this style of stabilizer and still practicing. But it only takes a few hours worth of self-training before it starts to build in your muscle memory. The real trick to it is how you use your second hand to trigger and control pan or tilt and help dampen any unwanted pendulum motion. You obviously can't see it here because my other hand is actually holding onto the camera through which you're viewing this demonstration, but with some extra care and concentration, a trickier to master one-handed technique can also be developed. And that's what I'm trying to do here, with limited success. That said, as you may expect, the big boy makes things easier to nail, and while the little bloke can deliver results every bit as smooth, it takes a little more focus and concentration to get there. But once you start getting the hang of things, you'll be able to walk, climb stairs, or even run with your camera and get results you can actually use instead of the jittery mess you'd get otherwise. You can even use it to get some smooth self-shot walk and talk shots without much effort at all. Very useful to those who like to do the vlogging thing out in the world and at events and such. If you're choosing between the two, it's down to a rather simple set of needs. The easier option is the more expensive option, of course. And that one's also where you want to live, of course, if you're mounting bigger, heavier, pro-level gear. You spend more now, but your life will be easier for it in the long run. And as I mentioned, setup is faster too, so you won't be holding up production while you're trying to balance your rig. And as a bonus, it breaks down into a pretty flat package, so pack up and transport is easy too. I did find, rather unsurprisingly, that the extra heft of the bigger unit will tire you out much more quickly than the little guy. And on that side of the fence, the SIL 3000 is actually the one I'd personally reach for more often, as it suits me better. I tend to shoot longer and as a one-man band, so the lighter weight will let me shoot longer and transport it easier. Although it has to be said it doesn't break down like the 5050, it's a bit more awkward trying to throw it in your bag, but there is less overall weight. I also tend to shoot on lighter equipment like Micro Four Thirds gear and the smaller end of the DSLR range, and this rig works great with them. And yes, it's a bit more fiddly to get balanced, at times a little bit frustrating if I'm honest, and you have to work a bit harder to get the great results. It's not as pretty or as slick as the DNA 5050, but for under 90 quid it's a damn good deal. They both come complete with everything you need out of the box, including, of course, a stack of counterweights so you can adjust it to whatever gear you're mounting on there, and clear instructions on how to set them up and properly balance them. Even some tips on technique you can practice. The big guy is all aircraft grade aluminium, and the little guy is aluminium and stainless steel, and you'll find both on glidegearhdslr.com. One word, it's on the screen. And much like I found with their video slider here, again, Glide Gear deliver simple, well-built, robust gear that punches well above its weight class when compared to similar and more expensive setups. It's definitely worth looking at if you're in the market for gear that'll make your shooting life a little bit easier and a lot smoother. Thanks for watching. I am Blunty. I'll catch you next time.